Well, yet another phase of the Kitunu Magata Savyak program got underway in Negombo today under the patronage of the Deputy Leader of the UNP, Sajid Premadasa.
Financial aid was provided to the St. Francis de Sales Church in Kattua, Negombo under the Kitunu Magata Savyak initiative. Is the direction in which this country is heading of any benefit? Does it benefit the citizens? Is a strong Sri Lanka being built, which we can hand over to the future generations? When we look at these problems intelligently, I would like to tell you, as a country, we have missed a number of opportunities where we could have achieved a large-scale development after the war.
අවස්ථා ගණනාවක්ම අද රටක් හැටියට අපි පැහැර හැරලා තිබෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the National Transport Commission has decided to make it compulsory for all private bus employees to be insured and entitled to the EPF. Chairman of the Commission, Roshan Gunawardena, stated that this will be a mandatory requirement for the issue of route permits.
සාමාන්‍ය රජයේ නීතිය අර්ථසාධක මුදල් ලබා දීම.
Under the general law of the country, it is mandatory to ensure that employees are entitled to EPF. So we will include this as a condition that needs to be fulfilled when obtaining route permits with effect from next week. We hope to elevate the social status of bus employees.
සේවකයන්ට ඔවුන්ගේ රැකියාවේ පිළිගැනීමක් ඇති සමාජය ඇති කරන්නත්
ජාති ගමනාගමන කොන්සභාවයෙන්
The National Transport Commission has no legal right to announce provisions for the EPF and ETF. So in such a backdrop, how can EPF be paid to employees?
අර්ථසාධක අරමුදල් ගෙවන්නේ කොහොමද?
ගමනාගමන කොමිෂන් සභාවේ බස් රථ ජාතික ගමනාගමන කොමිෂන් සභාවේ
A regulatory body has been appointed to look into buses that come under the Transport Commission, employees at the Commission, and also regarding employees serving under bus owners. So this Commission can take any decision for the betterment of passengers, bus owners, and employees.
මගීන්ගේ සහ බස් හිමියන්ගේ සේවකයන්ගේ සුව පහසුව සඳහා ඕනෑම තීන්දුවක් ගන්නවා.
අපි මේ සඳහා විධිමත් යාන්ත්‍රණයක් හදලා තියෙනවා.
We have formulated a mechanism. If that mechanism is implemented, especially if the prepaid card system is introduced for bus passengers, we will pay bus employees EPF and ETF from that very day onwards.
අපි මේ සේවක බාරකාර අරමුදල් සහ සේවක අර්ථසාධක අරමුදල් ගෙවන්න කටයුතු කරනවා.
මේ වෙනකොට සේවක සංගම්
All employees unions have spoken to us. They expressed their satisfaction over the steps taken by Minister C.B. Ratnayaka and the Transport Commission to fulfill their long-standing request. No discussions were held with the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association. They may have held discussions with a few small-scale unions. There is no use of that. However, the All Island Private Bus Owners Associations Federation and the Inter-Province Bus Owners Association say that they support this program. Our associations decided to support this program of the National Transport Commission. We decided to provide employees with an insurance cover as well.
If we are informed about this properly, we will agree to it. They say that they will introduce it, but once it is done, who will enjoy its benefits? A pension is not needed for private bus employees. We would be happy if a pension is granted to private bus employees.
The fundamental rights petition filed by the JVP challenging the bus fare increase was rejected by the Supreme Court today.
The petition was taken up for hearing before a bench comprising of Chief Justice Dr. Shirani Bandaranaike and Justices P.A. Ratnayaka and Chandrayaka Naika. Attorney at Law J.C. Valyamuna appeared on behalf of petitioners MP Sunil Handunetti and Colombo Municipal Councillor Sumit Padnaperma. He stated that even though it is stipulated that the maximum bus fare increase during special circumstances would be 18%, bus fares were increased by 20% in February. Senior State Counsel Arjuna Besekara, appearing on behalf of the respondents, stated that the minister and private bus owners can increase bus fares through consensus irrespective of regulations stipulated in the national policy. Having considered the submissions of both parties for over 2 hours, the Supreme Court decided to dismiss the petition.
In more local news, the attention of the Kalaniya Pradesh Sabha, which was convened today, was focused on a letter being circulated under its letterhead by an individual who is not a member of the Pradesh Sabha. Now, the letter has been sent inviting area residents to participate in the UPFA's May Day March and rally under the leadership of Minister Mervyn Silva.
Dear Sir, I request you to be present at my residence at 9 a.m. on the 1st of May 2012 in order to participate in the May Day rally organized by the United People's Freedom Alliance under the leadership of Minister of Public Coordination and Public Affairs Mervyn Silva. Who has made this request? It is one Ranjit Samrasinghe alias Suduaya. This was sent to my brother's house. Therefore, we urge that strict action be taken against this. There is a grave risk to our lives. Even attending this session is a risk. The public has witnessed criminals and other fugitives in this office. I urge the authorities to put an end to this form of politics and create an atmosphere which is conducive for politicians and the people of Kalaniya to act freely. What does this show? It shows us the inability of the Kalaniya organizer. The members of the SLFP in Kalaniya will not rally unless they see a better head of the Kalaniya Pradesh Sabha. That is the level to which the organizer and his stooges have fallen. The people are not with Mervyn Silva. According to the minister, the Kalaniya area is filled with cockroaches and lizards. Isn't it these cockroaches and lizards that gave Mervyn Silva, who earlier polled 2,000 votes, 51,000 votes from Kalaniya? Meanwhile, a supervisor of the commercial fertilizer company has lodged a complaint with the police alleging that the chairman of the Kalaniya Pradesh Sabha had assaulted him. According to the police, the assault is said to have taken place in close proximity to the Hunupitiya junction this afternoon. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Pradesh Sabha has also lodged a complaint with the Kiribatgoda police stating that the said supervisor has assaulted him.
Now, deadly blast rocked the Syrian city of Idlib today. We'll have more details on this story on Round the World in 99 seconds. But before that, time now for a short commercial break.
Stay with me.
On to our developing story tonight. The Sri Lanka Muslim Congress reiterates that the party will never agree to relocate in the mosque in Dambulla, adding that they do not require an alternative plot of land from the government in the event the mosque is demolished. Leader of the SLMC, Minister Rauf Hakim, made this statement during a media briefing held today.
Within Dambulla itself, the majority of the people, irrespective of whether they were Muslims, Tamils or Buddhists, they are of the view that this mosque has existed from 1963. We have very clearly said that we will not support any attempt to move the mosque. And I would even go one step further and say that we will never agree to any compromise of taking any land elsewhere because that's not necessary. I mean, if at all it is my position, we can beg, borrow or mortgage and then get our own land if the demolition takes place. Therefore, we are very, very firm about it.
I believe that the President will consider this issue in a calm and far-sighted manner, having understood the implications. The JHU might have had to face a difficult situation due to this, but I believe that they too have a right to express their stance.
In related news, the Sri Lanka Council of Religions for Peace expressed their views regarding the Dambulla Mosque incident at a media briefing held today.
We see this Nambulla incident as a private dispute that has aggravated. It is unwise to transform religious issues into political issues. As the Religious Council, we believe that discussions should be held regarding the matter and all those concerned should be involved in these discussions.
If we can forge unity and understanding among the communities based on religion, so that make an opportunity to develop Sri Lanka, to bring all the resources from all over the world. So the politics should be based on policies and the disciplines, not based on language and religion. This is the need of the hour. So our country to think and go forward, we have to keep away religion and language, ethnicity from the politics, and that is the way forward. Is my brief understanding.
As an organization that is multi-religious, we certainly do not approve that the way to solve our problems is through means that are aggressive. We take up the position that if there are sensitive issues, they must be settled by peaceful negotiations as civilized people and not on the streets.
The United Kingdom Foreign and Commonwealth Office launched its annual Human Rights Report for 2011 today. The section on Sri Lanka, which is a country of concern, focuses on accountability for alleged war crimes, respect for human rights, freedom of expression, minority rights, women's rights, a political settlement in a post-conflict era, and abductions and disappearances.
The report states that no concrete progress has been made in holding accountable those alleged to be responsible for violations of international human rights and humanitarian law during the final stages of the war in Sri Lanka. The United Kingdom, in its annual Human Rights Report for 2011, states that the country sees accountability for alleged war crimes, respect for human rights, and a political settlement as being essential elements in post-conflict reconciliation in the island. The report states that the United Kingdom will encourage the Sri Lanka government to implement recommendations and address outstanding questions regarding accountability for alleged war crimes. The report adds that in September 2012, the UK will contribute to Sri Lanka's Universal Periodic Review under the UN Human Rights System in Geneva. The report notes that the disappearances and abductions continued in 2011, with a sharp rise in the number of disappearances towards the end of last year. The report further adds that there was no evidence that returning migrant refugees from the UK to Sri Lanka were abused. The annual Human Rights Report covers thematic issues highlighting the UK's global human rights priorities and countries' concern.